Wayne, what is the dependency on the consultant, on the lead appraiser? Once you enter an engagement, how dependent are they on the lead appraiser?
That's very good. Because first of all, I have a philosophy. That's my personal philosophy. Is my success is my company's that I work for. When they have success, I'm successful.
Yeah.
So I go in with the mindset, number one, that there should be a significant transfer of knowledge.
Yeah.
So to go back to your question, when we start out process improvement, training is usually the number one activity, followed by a Class C appraisal. And at the Class C appraisal, there's a high dependency on me, to be honest, because I'm not a model expert. I don't think there ever will be one in the world, but I've worked with the model now long enough to be able to answer the questions that typically are surfaced. So there's a high dependency on me to help them baseline. But then the goal is, over the course of their program, periodically just stepping in to see how things are going, answering specific questions. I always have my clients email me if they have specific questions or needs. But my success rate I'm very proud of, because every company that I've worked at, I no longer work at, that have achieved higher levels of maturity, because there's been a transfer and now they're self-sufficient. And that's my goal in Turkey, is to make as many companies self-sufficient as possible.
Yeah. Regarding ownership of the program, okay, we know that top management has to own the project, the CMMI project.
Correct.
If there's no top management commitment, then the success of the project will
low probability.
Yeah. Now, in terms of implementing the project, there are two approaches. Now, one is the company knows that it has a lot of processes which do not comply with CMMI, or they're at the very beginning of the process improvement stage, and they're tempted to then working maybe with a process improvement company to develop their processes, to write up their process definitions. So if they're immature, they might be preferring this. Would this be a correct approach? Or again, if their processes are not so mature, they're very immature, is there any use of a lead appraiser coming in and doing a Scampi appraisal? When is the correct time of doing the Scampi appraisal?
Okay, very good. Now, we talked earlier in a previous segment about Class C, Class B, Class A appraisals. And the Class C appraisal would typically reveal findings or issues. Going to the next step of trying to close those gaps, you pointed out a couple of different scenarios. One is if the organization has poorly documented processes and they choose to update them and then re-implement new processes, the best approach, of course, is having internal resource do that. Many companies, though, are constrained, and they do use consulting companies to bring in external help to help them implement their process or document their processes. The one, in my experience, that can be performed very well, or it could be very, very hard to do. And what I mean by that is a company that will come in and help an organization document their processes the way they do business is one way. A company that comes in and says, you do these processes the way we're selling them to you is another way. The second way is very risky, primarily because of ownership. Projects that I've had experience with that tried to adopt external purchase processes, if you will, found it very hard from the viewpoint that, number one, they felt that it wasn't the way they do business and something was being forced upon them that wasn't useful. So we talked about resistance as well.
Well, then isn't there a template for applying CMMI processes or definitions? I mean, again, I mean, if the company doesn't have any requirements management definitions, or they don't know about traceability, they don't know about impact analysis, they don't have such processes, then wouldn't it be a good idea for this process consulting company to come in and adopt a template for them?
Again, it can be done as long as it, how would I say it, as long as it's working with the organization. I guess I'm drawing a line here between buying a process versus buying assistance in implementing a process. Do you see the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd have to be very careful if you were going to, say, go out and buy a template for requirements traceability from somebody, or even pull one down from the internet, if there wasn't any internal knowledge about what is requirements traceability.
Yeah.
What's the concept? So a template won't help if you don't understand what the concept is.
Yeah.
And if requirements traceability was never performed before in an organization, then it'd be very, very difficult for them to just pick up and adopt somebody else's developed process.
Then it is possible actually to get a template, but train the people on that template.
Sure.
And then that will work out.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.